Hey folks, Cap JLP here. Going to do some Farm Simulator 15. Actually just got an update, so not sure what's in the update. Been trying to figure out what was in the update, but I don't see anything online about it. So we'll go ahead and start this video. And this video is going to be about starting a new farm and how to get some quick cash pretty quick. Something I like to do to make money fast, just so I can play the game. So I don't have economic issues. This is kind of the way I started playing on both maps that's on Xbox One right now. So hopefully some new maps. Maybe when I click the screen we'll find new maps, but I'm not sure what was in the update. But anyway, here we go. How to start a new farm and make some quick cash. So you can play this in career mode or multiplayer mode. Both is the same. So if you start off a career, you can actually switch that same farm over to multiplayer. When you're playing in multiplayer, if you have friends come over and help you on your farm, you can split out the accounts to where both of you get paid. But at any rate, you're going to get paid twice. So if you do something, you get paid, plus whoever's helping you, your buddy's helping you, he gets paid. And then when he leaves, you get his money too. So he doesn't take any money with him. He's specifically there just to help you on your farm, but that's really easy to make money quick. If you've got a friend that can help you do this, you can make even more money quickly to get your farm started. I enjoy playing both in career mode, solo, and then also multiplayer with my friends. And learning the game is most of the fun is figuring out what new things to do, that kind of stuff. And then once you've done everything, it does kind of get a little boring. So hopefully they'll come out with some more DLC on different things you can do, things you can grow, that kind of thing, maybe ways to affect the market. But at any rate, let's go ahead and start a map. I'm going to do this in career, and I'm going to play, you can see I've got a couple already. I'm going to go down and start a new one just so you can see how I start a map to get some money pretty quick so that I can start buying equipment, more plots and that kind of thing. The only difference that I found, I haven't played on hard. It says right there you get smaller rewards and you're more in debt. On easy, you actually get a little more money to start with, you get more equipment to start with, you get more land to farm on, you know, than you do normally. But really the only difference that I've seen in playing is the fact you just don't get as much money. So depends on how long you want to sit and play to be able to go out and buy a new piece of equipment. Playing on easy, again, you make more money. The two maps right now currently on Xbox are the top one, and I have no idea how to pronounce that, Scandinavian, and then Westbridge Hills. There's a little bit easier to make money on the Scandinavian map. Because there's some trains that you can actually load up, send the trains off, and then you get paid again once that train leaves. That's pretty easy to make money that way when you get paid twice for something. But both maps, I like playing on both maps. Just you can make a lot more money quicker on the Scandinavian map. The downside, I think, is the plots of land are a little smaller. It seems like the Westbridge Hills has a lot bigger plots of land, but you can take your plow and once you buy two different plots of land that are close to each other, you can take your plow, actually plow the land between them, create a bigger field. So I've done that a lot on my other Scandinavian map. So we'll go ahead and just start off on this one. I'm going to say no to the guided tour. Definitely, if it's the first time you're playing, I would suggest going through the guided tour. It kind of helps you a little bit on figuring out what vehicles do what and that sort of thing. Again, I'm skipping that. And the first thing I want to do is actually, and I'm trying to use my run buttons that I'm used to playing Battlefield 4 for, but I'll get it right here in a second. What I want to do is I want to get in all my vehicles. I'm going to go ahead and connect up to this header. And then I'm going to go ahead and drive this over to my vehicle shop. What I really want to do is sell all my vehicles at the vehicle shop, because you get more money selling those vehicles at the vehicle shop than you will if you were just to sell them through the garage. One thing that you get really used to is using your cruise control. My cruise control, the way I've got my control set up is both buttons, bumper buttons in, and X turns cruise control on and off. You can see that. Well, one interesting thing is you can use your left stick up and down. You can see in the bottom right hand corner that green is indicating my cruise is on, and I can manipulate the speed of the cruise control. So that's sort of handy if you're trying to do chasers around your harvester. So your harvester's harvesting, you don't want to chase your worker that's harvesting for you with your truck to offload. You can adjust your cruise control to match here. Oops, go down a sign. Okay. Slowest vehicle I got to bring over, so this is going to take the most time to get over. But once you get here, you just pull up in front of your shop. So I'm going to head and get out of my vehicle, walk over to the icon over here. It should pull up and say there. Now I can right bumper to sell directly, and it's going to sell the implement as attachment first in this case, and then it'll sell the tractor or the harvester. And I can run over here. It turns really slow. Wish I could turn that up. I'll bring my tractor over and sell it. Woo-hoo. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and sell my other vehicles from the shop. It's going to hit Y. It's going to come up down at the bottom. It says broadcast one viewer right where I want to look, but underneath that it says garage. And then here's all the vehicles you have, all implements you have. And I'm just going to sell all of them actually. And I didn't have to sell all of them probably, but I did. So now that I have 195,000, I'm going to run off to Cozumel and retire. Actually, I'll get turned around here and say, what I want to do is run over to the ATM and take out a bank loan. Your maximum bank loan is $200,000. You can see I already have a little bit of a loan because I started out on easy. I'm going to go ahead and crank that on up. And that's plenty there. I'm going to go ahead and just borrow the max though. $345,000. That'll give me enough to buy what I want to buy and actually buy a few trees. So I'm going to hit back here, go ahead and bring up my shopping cart again, and I'm going to go to forestry equipment, and I'm going to buy a Scorpion King. Yeah, there you go. Once that's purchased, I'll back out of here and I'll go find my vehicle, which is located at the shop, which is right here. Go ahead and turn my cruise control on and start heading down towards the lumberyard. Speed this up just a little bit. Add steadily, and we'll be up in the yard. And here we are at the lumberyard. Now you can plant trees across there by the train track and drag them and cut them up and drop them into the water. You can also take a little cash over here. on this hillside, so I can kind of go over the bank there, drop them into that square. Maybe drop them into the yellow black square. And then once I've done this for a little while, I can actually send off the train and make some more money. These trees right here may be in our way. I may end up cutting those down. We'll try it without that first. I cut those down on my other map so that all these trees are cut down and out of the way. But for the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and try it. So you go to placeables, and then you go on out to trees. Now the only tree that this one has access to cut, the Scorpion King, is the fir tree, and they're $7,000 a pop. And we'll just plant a couple, and you can see they pop up. What I like to do is get as close to the rocks as I can without being up on them, and then I'll just place a few trees, and I'm out of money already. So you can see I spent my 21,000, or actually spent all my money. I got 4 trees. I thought I only purchased 3. But at any rate, you get in. Go ahead and fire up your harvester. Jump in and out with your right stick with the different views. Go ahead and set your length for 8 meters. The longer and straighter the wood, the more money you get to tell you that. I want to stop right in here. If you get too close to the center of the tree, lift that up and then go ahead and cut some 8-foot sections or 8-meter sections. I'm getting paid. So the $7,000 tree is paying me back pretty fast. Best spot to go down I found is right here, right where that tree's at. I want to get rid of that down in there from the air fan, but you can kind of take your fluid and move it and shove that on in. I really just wait until I'm done taking trees, then I'll shove it. If you bring a skid steer down here, all the DLCs, I'll bring a skid steer down here and shove what's left in there. So sometimes that happens. You can hold it up just right. If the tree gets the tension inside that box, and then it's in the whole tree. That's what it is. Rotate the boom around as I back up. It kind of keeps it from trying to tip over on you. It gets you lined up pretty good too. Parked right down here on the side. I usually park a skid steer right here, and with a set of log implements so I can pick it up. But anyway, you sit and cut the trees. I cut my 4 trees I've got. You can see I already got $138,000 of my investment back, and I can come over here and send the train off. You can keep loading this train up and up and up and up, and you'll get more cash. There goes the train. In a few moments we'll get paid again for what logs we cut and put on. And you can see I made another $137,000 and change, so that's $275,000 off of 4 trees. So that is some quick cash. You can actually go ahead and pay your way out of debt pretty fast like that. And you will have to deal with stumps, so you want probably the first thing you want to buy is a small tractor that doesn't have a big daily maintenance fee. And the stump grinder on it, and keep one down here just to grind the stumps, as it'll get a little bit harder to plant trees as you get more and more stumps in the way. I'll go ahead and buy a tractor for that purpose, and you can see there when you switch through here what your maintenance day costs are and what tractor you can afford. It doesn't take a huge tractor to run a stump grinder. I generally go over, again, I've got all the DLCs, so I'll go over, I think the very last one has a pretty low, so it's $80 a day for this Nitro Lamborghini. I usually purchase it. It is a little bit expensive, but maintenance fees are cheap. And then I'll go ahead and purchase stump grinder. And then you use your D-pads right and left to go through your vehicles. So you can get right into your tractor. is pretty easy. Especially with a small tractor like this that's easy to handle in a small place. So if you start down there like I am in a front like that, implement shields sticking up so you can fly down. And I like to park it way out of the way. We'll do a few more trees. cut these as low as I can. Sometimes that's kind of hard, especially got those trees close together. I kind of let my boom down a little. Takes a little finagling to get used to going up and down this hill. So it's going to turn over. Smoking food doesn't like to turn real going down this hill. A little bit of practice to go up and down pretty easy. Again, I would recommend going ahead and cutting down these trees while they're along the way. Makes it much easier to go along. A little close. What I want to do first, before I quit the video and before I stop focus, is go and get enough money to pay my way out of debt. I already do that. I'm going to turn back on a loan. I'm going to stop paying interest on it. I need a skid steer, so I'm going to make a little bit more money to buy a skid steer. Go off to the right or left at just one of the spots. It's really difficult for the focus to get back up to the hill. That seems to work real well right there. Then I'll send the train off again. Fortunately, you can't play hobo and ride the train. I tried. Go ahead and buy a skid steer and the log fork. Go ahead and switch to it. Pick that up. It drives a little touchy. It's almost like the model's got wheels that turn. Now that I got a lot of cash, skid steer, I'm going to go over to pay my bank loan off. And you just repay using Y. And I've paid off my debt with $318,000 left and all the equipment I need to continue making money. And what I'll usually do is stay down there, and if I've got a friend that's on, I'll make another little bit of money. Actually, right now, really close. All I need is another $3,000 or another couple grand, and I could buy another Scorpion King and enough to buy a couple more trees. And once I get started, then we can both buy trees. We'll both get paid for cutting lumber. He can cut lumber over on the other side and drop into the water on this map while I do this one. Or vice versa, and make a lot of money really quick. And I try to make a couple $1 million. Once I get up to about $2.5 to $3 million, I can go ahead and buy some good tractors, good equipment, plot of land, and start looking at the market, seeing what's paying. and then you can get into cattle and sheep and all that later. So I got more of that coming. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope this helps. It's a lot of fun, this game. Follow me on Twitch at CapJLP. Please rate, subscribe. We'll see you next time on CapJLP's Gaming Channel.